All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Film Club Podcast. I'm S.
I'm Jared, and today we have a special guest once again, who I will let him introduce himself.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm Haas Khan. I am a creative entrepreneur / videographer, I guess. Live out of Austin, Texas, and yeah, that's kind of a little bit of who I am. I can kind of jump into like what I do and like how I help people. You want me to kind of just start off with that?
Yeah, well, first of all, welcome to the club. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Yeah. It's really nice having you. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and get right into it and talk about what you do. And
yeah, I work with a lot of business owners, coaches, and consultants, helping them build out their personal brands and helping them generate leads through their social media profiles.
Very nice. So you focus a lot on short form content, right?
Short form.
So I guess your background was probably in long form at some point with the wedding stuff, correct?
Yeah. So like my initial like plans, like as like a videographer, were to like do like commercials, do like long form content. Like I really enjoyed the art of it. Like from color grading all the way from production to post production. And then throughout, the past like 5 years, I've kind of shifted into like the short form game. Still do like long form content like commercials and kind of like high corporate stuff, but not as much as like short form. Yeah.
so what was it like around, I did see that was like around COVID, like around when COVID started, it kind of seemed like was when you made a big shift. So like what was it that made you shift into doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So I started working for a business mindset coaching program called Wake Up Wealthy. And the CEO, Bertie Kern, I was his first hire. So our main focus was short form, and I kind of started just like doing all his content and building my name throughout that. And then from there, just kind of progressed into like, getting my first hire, and then building out a team. And then, and then started kind of focusing more on like social media content rather than like kind of long form stuff. Yeah.
So when you made that shift, around what time, around when did you actually, because you have your own agency now, right?
Right.
So when was it that you started your own agency?
Yeah, so I kind of had it always in my back pocket. Like I was working for Wake Up Wealthy, and I kind of would just like freelance a couple gigs here and there. And then like it just kind of just happened. Like within like, I had one employee, turned out to be two because we had so much work, and then it became like a whole thing. So we've like probably been in business about 2 years now. Everything has been phenomenal. Having a lot of ups and downs, learning, how to like manage systems, how to like manage employees. But it's been truly like a blessing in disguise. So yeah.
So for what we do, for at least for me, I get contracted out a lot for shooting interviews and events and stuff like that.
Right.
And I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I could say having a production company could be in my back pocket, but I don't like the idea of all the back end stuff of like dealing with clients and stuff. So what was that? What is that like for you?
Yeah. Like, are you kind of talking about just the communications?
Yeah, just because like, for me, I don't like I don't want to have to deal with clients. I like being able to get hired for shoots and going and filming and then passing that footage off to other people.
Sure.
I feel like I get to be behind the camera. I get to be filming all the time. Mm-hmm. So like, what was that like for you? Cause I know you film and you do, you film a lot of the content and stuff too. So what's that like having to deal with the whole back end stuff of like, invoicing and all that stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, like that's not like always the fun part, like all the accounting and all like the like client like communications. But like so, what we did was we put in a client success manager for our clients. So whenever they're coming on with us, they're getting a project manager and a client success manager to manage like any type of questions, any like back and forth that they have, any revisions or anything like that, and that's communicated to the editor. So I'm not really in like the day-to-day conversations anymore. Okay. At the very beginning I was, and it was just a lot to manage, plus trying to bring on new clients. But now since we brought in a client success manager, it really helps like streamline things. Yeah.
What was it like finding that person though? Like, is it easy to find somebody to bring onto the team that wants to be involved?
Yeah, I mean, so like with like hiring, it's always easy to find people. It's just finding the right person,
right? And
like making sure like they like have an understanding of the job role and that they are willing to like work hard. I mean, I've kind of went through 5 to 10 people. Like the phrase I've heard is always like hire fast and fire fast. And that's what I've kind of implemented into our business. Yeah.
Okay. So going back to what you're saying, you did the mental mind coach kind of thing. So obviously something there shifted your mindset.
Yeah.
Could you kind of explain where you were at mentally?
Sure.
What shifted that kind of put you into this position?
Yeah, for sure. It's actually a pretty interesting story. So, growing up in Springfield, Missouri, like my like daily habits weren't good. I got really like addicted to cocaine. Going into, I think it was like 2019. Was working as a production assistant, and I was just doing a line before like I even started work. As soon as I would wake up, there'd be a line of like coke just sitting right there on my nightstand.
Was that for energy? Like
yeah, just let's start the day, and it was just like fun. Yeah. So like I was working for a real estate company, so I would have to go out and shoot houses. So then I would bring a little bit of coke with me, go to the house, rip a line, go inside, shoot all the photos, go back, get in the car, rip another line, go to the house. Yeah, dude, it was so much fun. But like it was a blast, but at the same time too, I was destroying my life. So yeah. I was 22, about 22, 23 at the time. Yeah. And then just shit started hitting the fan. Like then I had to like move back home. I got fired from that job. And then I met Brody, who was my former boss, and he was like, look, you got like a lot of potential, but like you're a fucking piece of shit, like straight up. And like he had like, nobody had really said that to me before. Like my parents said it, but I was like, whatever, you know, like they don't know what they're talking about. And he kind of gave me the opportunity where he was like, okay, like I'll give you a job, but you have to work 3 months for free and you have to do whatever the fuck I say. And I was like, all right, well, I got nothing to lose. And I was about 200 pounds at the time. So I was pretty big. So long story short, I was waking up with him every single day at 4 a.m, going and running 25 miles and just doing a lot of like mindset work with him. And from there, that like really like shifted everything. And then like it kind of changed my group of friends, started kind of like seeing what the potential was. Like seeing guys out there that were like, you know, 22, 23 that were making, you know, millions of dollars just doing like the most basic things, like blew me away. And I was like, I can't imagine like, you know, how are they doing this? You know, it's got to be a mindset thing. So that really shifted for me there. Yeah.
That's interesting you talking about changing your habits. I think a lot of people, especially filmmakers, if you want to talk about like the kind of the box that most filmmakers are put in, it's kind of like the lazy artists, the stoics, the whatever.
Yeah.
And I think like as an artist, that's fine. That's like that's where a lot of your creative energy comes from, right? But then when it comes to like creating it as a business, exactly like you're saying, it's like you got to have a healthy mindset and healthy routine. And like that's something me and my wife are working on, is just like that healthy, just life all the way around will make you a better everything.
Right.
You know, so
100%. Yeah. And that's like what I've discovered over time. Like, it's not really about like it is about your knowledge, of course, and like how well you like operate in your business, but having that energy and that mindset plays such a huge factor. Because like you're going to go through ups and downs, no doubt about it. And like how you react to those and how you come back from that all depends upon your mindset. So yeah.
Well, I guess we can shift gears to like the marketing side, because this is what I'm actually really, really interested in. Because I think when it comes to social media, it is like this, like the algorithm is the foreboding cloud among our heads that nobody, you know, you're just waiting to get zapped by it. So it's like we make content like personally, and we make it for this podcast, everything like that. But from your experience, what is kind of the baseline first biggest mistake you see people when it comes to doing content, making content? What is like the biggest thing you see people doing?
Just not posting. Yeah, not posting at all. I mean, like if you have a business of any sort and you're not posting social media content, you're leaving so much money on the table. Like everybody does, like people don't know what you know. If you're willing to share your knowledge online, people are willing to trust you more and buy from you more. Yeah. And build that credibility.
I love that. Social media is building trust and credibility.
100%. Yeah.
I think that's why influencer marketing is blowing up the way it is. My wife's in marketing. So it like seeing influencer marketing, micro influencer marketing, all these things that people don't realize, one, as a person who wants to make money, how much you have the ability to make money even as a micro influencer, whatever that means to you.
Right.
And how much people can make money on the business side by utilizing the people in those places, because it's not very easy to go trust a big corporation, but it's easy to trust Haas, because I've been following this guy for 6 months and his stuff has been helping me, right? So I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I tell my clients too, is like your personal brand is going to bring you more money and grow more than your company page. Because a lot of people will ask me like, you know, like, should I be posting content on like my company page or my personal account? I was like, you got to do both, one, but your personal focus more there because that's going to grow far more than like your actual company page.
Your personal brand.
Personal, yeah. Okay, well. Yeah, your personal, 100%.
Because you are the brand.
You are the brand, 100%. People want to work with you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool way to look at that.
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend, we film a lot of weddings. And so that was one thing for us is like we wanted to implement. We didn't want to just have like a brand name and like hide behind that, the name or the logo. We wanted to like show ourselves, show our personality and things like that. So people actually know who we are. Cause we feel like, in that industry, especially brides and grooms, they want to hire. I feel like it's better for them to hire people than companies, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But I had some questions. I wanted to ask you a question about one of your recent posts on your story about ChatGPT.
Oh yeah.
And how you had I think you grabbed like 13. It's based off of like a training thing that you have going on right now. How much of AI do you use like with ChatGPT and things like that?
Yeah. So right now we're helping. Right now, ChatGPT is helping us like script videos for clients and like come up with ideas. It's not really fully there where you can like, I wouldn't recommend it. Like it just doesn't sound right. Like whenever you're at like taking like it word for word from the script, but we're using ChatGPT to build foundations and like kind of like tweak from there. So I would say, on a daily basis, I'm going through ChatGPT, like trying to like find like keywords and like good topics for clients to shoot on. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think ChatGPT is like a really good start.
Yeah.
Because you're right. It's not fully there, but it is a good start. So tell me a little bit more about like the training like that you have out right now, or is it out?
Yeah, it came out this morning.
This morning. Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's a pretty basic training using ChatGPT to help you like people come up with topics and hooks, because with Instagram Reels, and you guys might already know this, but the first 3 seconds are by far the most important. The first 3 seconds are 85% of your video, because if you can't keep that retention and you can't stop people from scrolling, they're not going to watch the video. So coming up with really good hooks and topics on how to stop people from scrolling is vitally important. Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this with Cody behind the camera about like people editing faster and faster to try to just like get your attention.
Right.
Because the retention rate used to be 15 seconds.
Yeah.
First 15 seconds. And then it went down to 5 and now it's down to 3.
Yeah.
Which I think is insane when you think about how quick you have to make somebody be interested in you. Like what you say and what you do. And so, yeah, I think that's really interesting. And I was looking at some of your edits because I love editing and stuff. And I think it's like you've hit the nail on the head with as far as just like, it's flashy. It's in your face in a good way. It's creative. And it's something that gets people to stop for a second and be like, what is this guy talking about? So that's something we were kind of talking about, is just like working on our shorts. It's like, how do we get people to stop and listen for just a second?
Yeah, it's something we're constantly working on too. We're always bouncing ideas off of each other, trying to figure out when should we post, how should we post, how often should we post, like what type of content we should be posting.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I did learn something like I seen something you posted also about something about like posting weekly and having like some carousels, having a static and having mostly reels.
Yeah.
Is there much of a difference between like Instagram or YouTube Shorts and stuff like that? Is there different strategies?
Yeah, for sure.
Those?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Instagram. So like what I've been like kind of like teaching and like telling clients is like Instagram, we want to try to kind of build as your funnel, essentially. Like you want people to come to your page, understand what you do, and have like very small like little appetizers, as essentially like your reels being where like the knowledge is. And then YouTube, I kind of recommend as just like a nurture type content. If somebody is like finds you there, it's like more like kind of like podcast type content, stuff like this. TikTok, I have not figured out yet. Honestly speaking, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, we were just talking about it too before we got here. TikTok is more of these.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I cannot find success on TikTok to save my life.
Don't clip that. Please don't clip that.
Oh dang, what was I about to talk about? Trends.
Yeah.
So how do you find trends? How do you keep up with trends?
That's a good question.
Obviously, trends are like the big deal that's going to get you to that point where you'll self-sustain.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say on like trends and finding them?
Yeah. So like trends and finding them, I think is just like spending time on the app and like seeing what other people are doing. I mainly work with like a specific type of niche of like entrepreneurs and like consultants and businesses. And like, so usually whenever like a trend starts happening, you kind of see the shift in the market. Like for Alex Hormozi, for example, they started kind of doing where they would do a carousel post where it would just kind of be like the thumbnail and the post, and you would swipe right, it would be the video. So like people are always kind of like testing and like figuring out what's working and what's not working. I don't have like any, like go to this website and like you'll figure out the latest trends. It's really about like seeing what the market's doing and like testing and like figuring it out from that.
Just literally watching and
learning. Watching and learning and like testing. Testing is the biggest thing like whenever it comes to social media, because you don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. It's like
I think that's a big thing, right? Is like trying to get people to understand like just post it. Like it's like one bad post won't just absolutely collapse everything you've built, right? So it's like we've been talking about that too. It's like who cares? We're just going to try it. Just throw it out there.
Right.
If it sticks, it sticks. If it don't, like nobody's going to remember that. Nobody's going to think of you as like the guy who made a bad post.
Yep.
Yeah, I find that interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll repost stuff like all the time, like even like a week later. Like I'll repost the exact same thing, maybe change up a couple words here and there, but like, and nobody remembers, nobody says anything. Sometimes I'll even get more traction on that second post, just judging by like what time I posted, what words I use. Like it's all, there's so many different variables when it comes to social media content. Whenever like I hear somebody say like they have like a hack or like they know the way, like a growth, right? Like, there's not really nobody really knows.
No, I think the only growth hack is when people say there's a growth hack and then the video is 3 seconds long and they get you to read this essay in their caption, so the video replays. Oh, I hate those videos.
Yeah, or like the ones that you see of like the like use this sound, like the I see those all the time. Like, this is not gonna work.
It doesn't do anything for you.
No, it worked for me one time. It was like it was like a 7-second thing. It was like Instagram's pushing these 7-second things, and I posted it, and it did really well for on our wedding Instagram. It did like really well. Okay. So I was kind of surprised. I mean, I would just think those things are more hit or miss.
Yeah,
a little fickle.
Yeah. I might be wrong here.
Yeah, I think the most that I know about like pushing Instagram is like the little arrow on the music, like when it's a music note or like when it's an arrow, it's like those are trending, these ones aren't.
Oh yeah. Like you kind of see the views on like which one's like doing the best. 100%.
Yeah. And I feel like those help, but
So do you spend a lot of time on Instagram just watching content and taking note? Do you have like a process where maybe you see a video and you go, oh, that's good, and then you save it? And
so like what we'll do right now, like at least like the team wise, is like we'll have everybody kind of like surf Instagram and like pick out their favorite video, what they see, which videos like they see like trending, and we'll send it into our team channel, and then like kind of like recommend from there.
That's really cool. So what do you think of the saying "still like an artist"? What does that mean to you?
Do it all the time. Do it all the time. I mean, like I love that. Like whenever I read that book, like kind of just changed my perspective. I was trying to figure out like, like creatively, like, like try to like think of the idea, try to like think of like, oh, what can I do here? And like nothing was like, it was just becoming 10 times more stressful. And then once I figured out, I was like, okay, well, I just take this idea, massage it, tweak it, make it my own. And I do that all the time.
I love that.
Yeah. I always think it's funny when people complain or like, oh, you stole this idea from this. Like, this is off topic, but Camera Foundry, how Caleb Pike came out with that Cineback for the FX3. Have you seen it? The Cineback for the FX3?
No, I
issue with the FX3.
Yeah. Is that the rig?
It's like a rig that goes onto the back of the FX3. Well, there's another company called Rigid that came out with one that connects to the top handle, and everyone's like hating on it. They're like, you stole from Caleb Pike's idea, and it's like, Caleb Pike isn't the first person that thought about adding a rig onto the back of it. Like, we're not the first ones to think about doing a podcast.
No.
We didn't steal this idea.
No.
You know what I mean? So.
No, it's just like about like, I mean, just changing up your messaging and like marketing, and like that's all it is, really. Yeah. Like marketing is such a huge play. I think that's like what I've learned in the past year. Like I was so focused on the product, like of the reels. Like I was trying to do these like very high end reels. They were taking so long. And like the margins were horrible. And then there's a guy out there like doing, like crap reels, just like basic captioning, and like they're doing like $80K a month. And I'm like, how?
Just killing it.
Yeah, just crushing it. Yeah, and crushing it. So like now like my main focus is kind of like marketing and sales, and like kind of like even taking stuff that I've seen, like making it my own, Yeah.
Do you do any of the what is it, where they throw like a GTA clip on the bottom?
Yeah. So we've done that. We've done that for a couple of clients. If they'll request it, we'll do it. I mean, like I just didn't really see the growth in it. Like I know, like it's worked for some people. I mean, like the whole Andrew Tate model. Like whenever he did that, like there were so many other people like duplicating that model. So it's worked.
What's the model? I'm not sure if I'm familiar.
Basically, like he was hiring a whole bunch of like editors to make a whole bunch of like Instagram, TikTok accounts and post to the accounts.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, so he had like 50 accounts and like
because he wanted his content.
Yeah. So it was just just mass distribution.
And I think like stuff like that is cool. That's where it's kind of like sometimes still like an artist doesn't work because he had this idea. I don't know if he was first, but I would assume he was probably one of the early adopters of it at least.
Sure.
Makes sense, right? But then if everybody's doing it and then everything's flooded, it's like, does it start to fizzle out as it being a good idea anymore?
Yeah. It's definitely fizzled out because I know a couple guys that have tried to do it and it's just like hasn't worked as well. Of course, not just like to the Tate level. I mean, other accounts have grown, but like, I mean, it's always changing. You know, like social media is like changing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know,
I just did a shoot with he's the #1 Twitch streamer in the world, Jinxie. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a gamer. Okay. I just did a shoot with him and I was talking to him outside of it. And I was asking, I was like, people steal your clips all the time and repost it to TikTok and stuff. Like, does that bother you? And he was telling me, he's like, absolutely not. He said, my career would be nothing without people reposting my content. He's like, I want them to do that. The more they do that, the more. So it's like the Tate model almost. But he said it just happened organically. He didn't even realize what was happening. So that's interesting.
Yeah, attention is gold. I mean, if you can get in front of people's faces, I mean, you can make some money for sure. Yeah.
Do you think everybody has that ability? Like, if we're being like real and raw, like, do you think everybody has the ability to be a on-camera personality?
I don't think so. Yeah, just being completely honest with you. Yeah, like because I've worked with like you just have to have like this like the kind of the juice for it and like that personality for it. Like I think like I don't if they can't be on camera, I don't think they don't have any value to offer to the world or to the marketplace. I think it could be, created differently. Like these faceless like YouTube accounts, these faceless Instagram accounts. Like I could see like somebody going down that route. But I think for certain people like it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree.
Yeah. Or they like try too hard, or
they're
just like
too phony.
Yeah, too phony, or like it's just not there, or they're just not offering anything valuable.
Yeah. I guess probably should start getting into the nitty gritty of the marketing itself.
Sure.
And the value it brings to other people. A while ago, you'd mentioned, and my wife says this all the time too, actually, that businesses that aren't taking a hold of social media are leaving so much money on the table.
Right.
Kind of dive deeper into that. Why are they leaving money on the table?
Yeah, I mean, because that's where like attention is now. Like back in the day, it was TV ads, and like that was like the way to kind of get your message out and how to like get people known or get people to know about your product or service. Social media is now like the new game. Like it's where people can come learn about you, your business, what your offering is, and also like follow you and like become a part of like your community almost. Like if you're posting if you're a business and posting like daily content, like nurturing that community, nurturing your audience, you have like, I can't remember the exact number, but you're like 10 times more likely to close that person than you are if they just saw an ad like on a newspaper or like somewhere else. Yeah.
They feel connected.
Yeah, they feel connected. Yeah, they feel like they know the brand, they know the person, and it builds more trust,
So do you think that some brands, let's say like big corporate brands, you can always think of corporate brands as like perfect boxes that they build with content. But when they create their social media, even looking at that, sometimes you're like, dude, this is so fake and like corporate. Like, do you think that helps their image, hurts their image, or is it like kind of a neutral?
I mean, I think it kind of hurts. I'm not going to lie. Like, I think it kind of hurts. I mean, like an example I can kind of think of is like even like Barstool's. Like, I mean, Barstool's like a straight up media company. Like once, like I really do feel like any type of like business, even if it's corporate, should have like some type of like media coming out. Like whether that be like a podcast, like them talking about, like what the new initiative is, new updates or anything like that. I think any business should have some type of media going out. Yeah. Whether that's a blog. I mean, blogs are important too, I guess. I just don't read them.
Yeah, I don't know who does anymore.
Yeah, I don't really read blogs. So if they don't have any type of like video content going out, like there's a lot they're missing. Yeah.
Well, like what kind of content? Like, let's say a roofer came to you and like, hey, we need to make content. We need to whatever. Haas, what do we need to make that will get people watching? Where would you start with that?
Yeah, so then I would kind of just like go into like the educational type content, right? So like let's talk about like what people don't know about roofs and when should they like think about getting a new roof, and kind of just giving all that knowledge base there. Like if that roofer has like, multiple 30, 40 reels built out on their page where it's just knowledge and like they're explaining like the roofing business and like why people should like invest into a new roof, when they need a new roof, what problems that they're having, either like with their gutter or whatever it is. I would just kind of start there with that educational type of content. Yeah.
But you're placing it in a way where it's like, hey, I'm just a roofer. I'm just giving you knowledge.
Right.
I'm not saying, hey, I'm a roofer. Come buy me.
No.
Pay for my. You're just saying, hey, I'm just telling you what's up.
Yep. I mean, giving that free value is gonna go far, like along, like way more than it is like trying to promote yourself.
Free value. That's
free value.
You think you hear that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that like pretty much where free value falls off? Is like, hey, I'm just kind of giving you tips and tricks, or like, is there a bigger thing, like bigger complexity to what free value can mean, like in terms of what people can offer?
Yeah, I mean, I think like that's just depending on like what they're wanting to give up, you know. Yeah, like what they're willing to give up. I mean, like for a roofer, I mean, a roofer could probably give up free value. Like, it could probably like give you the step by step on how to like build your own roof, you know. But most people won't do it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
You know, like people will pay somebody else to do it. So like, I mean, but yeah, I mean, like I think like there's just like what people are willing to give up. Like I've kind of like developed like, you know, in the past like month or so, I'm like, I'm just gonna like release content and I'm gonna release like free trainings as much as I can.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, so your training and courses are free?
Yeah. So as of like the real ones, like the ones that I'm coming out. Yeah. Like the one I posted today.
Okay.
Like that's completely free. You can go get.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. You can take the ChatGPT prompt. You can put it into the hooks and generate a whole bunch of topics.
And you see you see like engagement and a bigger building of your foundation when you provide these free assets.
Yeah, 100%. I think like today's reel is like the most comments I've ever gotten.
Wow.
Yeah. So far, and it's only been I think like 8 hours. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like how the code, and it was like it said something like desire, and then it said like pain or something like that, and then ChatGPT just filled it in and was like
filled it in.
Yeah. Do you want to buy a house without having to worry about searching? I was like, what?
Yeah, it's great. Have you guys seen HeyGen yet?
No.
Where you can make an AI version of yourself?
No.
It is wild. I would definitely check it out. Check out HeyGen.
Could it run the podcast for us?
I mean, it'll get there soon. It'll get there soon. Wow. So I put in like you put in like 2 or 3 minutes worth of like video content of yourself, and it'll create an AI version of you, and it's pretty.
Is that what Clxb did? Do you know who that is? He was like a YouTuber. He made an entire YouTube channel, but it was all AI. But no one knew it was AI. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was like a part of that or something.
I mean, the AI move is wild, especially in like the video space. Like some of the animation like AIs that are coming out are wild.
It's kind of scary as like thankfully we're in like video for now. We're safe, I think. But I feel like it started with Photoshop. Yeah. You know, with the auto generation. I use it all the time. My wife used it yesterday. She's never opened Photoshop, and she's just like boop boop boop.
Yeah, this isn't a real background.
Yeah, this is all fake.
This is real. Yeah.
I had a question. I had a question based off of like what he asked about the roofer. So like a lot your clients are they like based off retainers, or are you getting like your clients, are they paying like per job or?
Yeah. So right now it's a retainer base. It's a 3 months minimum to work with us. Reason being is because it's really hard to measure data off of like 1 month of posting. Like we're not gonna really know what works or what doesn't work after like 1 month of posting.
Yeah.
And our number one goal is to give clients results and make content as easy as possible. So usually after about 3 months, we can kind of see like, okay, what direction we're going, what videos are working, what topics did well, what topics didn't do well, what kind of content we need to be shifting towards. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then my other question based off of that is because I have some clients that they pay me per job.
Yeah.
And I really feel like they could be on retainers. I'm just having like a hard time approaching them as like, because I feel like they don't come to me enough, but they could really benefit from having me do a lot of content for them. So like what type of advice would you give to somebody that like in my position where I have somebody who could be on a retainer? How could I switch them over to that?
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What's your offer? Like, what are you gonna deliver to them?
So basically right now I'm doing reels for him. So like, I can kind of tell you a little bit more about what he does. So he does like house renovations. He does like bathrooms, kitchens, and then sometimes he does entire houses. So like right now I'm just doing like him walking through the house, explaining like what his business is and then how to reach him. And I could do a lot more for him. Yeah. But a lot of it is like, getting together with him. So I feel like what I could offer him would be, a certain amount of days that I could go with him. Like you get 4 hours on this day for me to go to these houses and film you talking to the camera and selling your business. But then also I do film a lot of like showing the house, like the kitchen after it's been remodeled and stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, so like what I would do if I was like in that position, like basically like I would kind of be like, okay, One, I'd be like, I'm offering packages now. That's the only way I'm working. Like, either you're gonna do 15 reels or 30 reels a month, and like you'll get a certain amount of hours every single month that we can shoot. You can either do, and it's a 3-month minimum. Reason being is because I want to help you grow, and I want to like measure the data. And like my number one goal here is to get you leads, right, through your organic profile. I can't really do that with only like, per project. Like content needs consistency. Yeah. You got to do it for 3 months. So I would give him an option. Either he can do like, let's say like a $2,500 a month, for 3 months, or you can do a pay in full option, save like $1,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I would just say no, like stop doing like per job. Be like, I have to do it. Like we're doing packages now. You have to systemize. You have to productize your offering.
Yeah, because for me, I mean, I feel like I'm doing pretty good like filming per job for him.
Right.
But I just feel like he could benefit a lot more from it as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be much more for him to come out of pocket to be a retainer, but I really feel like he could benefit a lot more from it, just having it a little bit more organized.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's like, hey, are you available Thursday to come and film this house? And it's like, are you gonna be there? He's like, no, I'm not gonna be there. It's like, well, then what? Like,
what are we doing?
I can film the house, but then you could get so much more content out of this.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you too. When he said $2,500 a month, does that kind of make it like hard to approach him and be like, is that a hard number? Because I know for me that would be like, oh, whoa, you want me to tell him $2,500 a month?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a self-worth thing.
Right.
But also, I think for businesses, it's like a tax write-off as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
So it's.
Well, I'm saying, but like, and I get that, but I'm saying, like, is that easy for you? Like, how would you give advice for someone who maybe think like, at least for me, who would think like, oh, I don't think I could ever charge that much. Like, I'm asking a lot of money here.
Right.
Like, is that a lot of money, or is that in your experience? Like, no, people go for that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all like, what's the word? It's not subjective, but I think it's just based on the person, like I had that as well too. It's just like a limiting belief, like saying $2,500 is a lot of money. For most businesses, it's not that much money. I mean, unless like, like if any business is doing like 10 to 20K a month, like $2,500 is nothing. It's like pocket change. So it's a little bit of like limiting beliefs. Like I think like as videographers, we kind of get stuck in that, like $2,500 is a lot of money. But to most businesses, it's not. And then once you kind of overcome that, like that fear, because I still kind of go through that sometimes here and there. And that's why like I try to qualify people and make sure like, they're a good fit to work with us. But it's definitely like a limiting belief, 100%. Because people have it. People can figure out, if people really want your service, they'll figure out a way to buy it.
Yeah.
Credit cards, loans, I mean, whatever it is, people will figure out a way. And if your offering is good, if you have a no-brainer offer, people will buy it.
So what's the post production like for that? It's like once you've already edited the video,
right,
and you've delivered it, do they give you access to their socials, or do you just send them the footage and have them post it?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on what the client like wants and what package that they buy. I would highly recommend, if like you're going down this route, to post it for them. Yeah, because like the more like hands off they have to be, the more valuable you could become.
And I guess the more you can nurture too, making sure that they're using the right music, the right captions, everything.
That was a question that's where I was going with that, is because like I can pass on a video, but if they're not using the right type of music, or they're I don't even know if tags are like important anymore.
Not really.
Hashtags or not, but it's like, are they posting it at the right time? Are they using the right type of music?
Yeah.
Things like that. And then also being able to see the analytics of everything after the fact. Like if you're not getting access to their socials, are you just asking them for screenshots, or like?
Yeah. So then like, I mean, like I'm just like getting on like coaching calls with them and asking them how it's going. And like, we'll just judge it based off views, and then like I'll have them show it to me. Yeah.
You do like monthly, weekly?
Yeah. So each client is a little bit different. So we'll either do weekly or bi-weekly coaching calls.
So Instagram just got rid of analytics, didn't they?
No.
I thought they were getting rid of it. I thought my wife was telling me that. And well,
hopefully not.
I believe that's what she said there.
No, I just checked mine. Yeah.
I think she said it was like rolling out, but I could have misheard that. She could have been talking about something else.
That would be crazy, because there's a lot of like influencers that are like, we've got 1 million impressions, and then people are like, we will pay you to post.
Yeah. There's no way, because they just came out with an update for like retention.
Okay. So
they just came out.
It could have been me mishearing what she was saying. Where I was going with that was when you're looking at analytics, what's like the top 3? What's like the things that show like, okay, this is going well?
Yeah.
Like as far as the analytic goes.
Yeah. Retention. One, I like now that they like released this retention update, like it's been phenomenal. So
and what is that?
So retention is like how long somebody's staying on your video for, right?
Okay. And the update, what was the update?
The update actually like shows the graph. Like it actually shows you the retention
They added
rate.
the retention.
Yeah, so like now that Instagram has this retention rate, you can see how long somebody's actually staying on your video for.
Great.
So if we can now see if like your hook is good or bad, or like where people are dropping off on the video. Like if it was like halfway through, what can we fix there? What can we say differently? Like is it like the graphic? Is it what you said? Did it get too long? Did it get too boring? Things like that. The other one is looking at like non-followers and shares. Yeah. Shares are vitally important. Yeah.
So non-followers, as in like that's what Instagram is pushing to.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that on one of my analytics, it was like the views were going up, and so I went and checked it, and it was like 3 non-followers, all followers, and I was like, well, that's cool that all those people are following me and watching content, but why is Instagram not pushing that out?
Right.
That was
So was it like a video? Was it a video that like people would share?
Probably not.
Yeah.
You know, that I think about it, I was kind of following. So there was a video that I posted. I think it's one of my best videos yet, like 6,700 views.
Right.
And I guess that was shareable because it was like the type of content I made, whatever.
Right.
So I kind of followed that same formula with the second one, but in a different way. And I guess now that you're saying that, now I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, it probably wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, who are you trying to attract? Like, is it your video? Is like your
filmmakers?
Yeah, other filmmakers.
Like, yeah, because I think I'm down the path of like I have my certain look that I like, and I'm attracted to that look when it comes to other filmmakers, and I think it's just kind of like the same thing that they're doing, and eventually hoping to get to a point where people are reaching out to me, for content.
Yeah, yeah. I think like even for like filmmakers that like kind of the grid as being kind of almost like a portfolio or their look, like selling love packs would be would be huge. Like if I was doing that, I would just like try to come up with as many digital products as I could. Like if I was trying to attract the other videographers, for sure.
That's something he went down the route of. You did.
How did that go?
It went really well. So I was selling like because my background is like in music videos, so I did a lot of music videos. So I was selling the music video frames.
Okay.
So like, and this is like right before Reels came out, so it was like everything was one by one.
Yeah.
And the frames did really well. I'm actually working on another version, it's like volume 2, where it's gonna be more reel formatted, and it's like more video. So like, instead of just being like a perfect square, you're able to put a video on top and bottom, and then it's got a unique design to it, and it looks pretty cool. So
yeah, sick.
Coming out pretty
sick.
soon.
You should like put the FX3 all the links for your rig. Like I would buy that.
Yeah, I do have a link. So on my website, you click gear. And I have all of my gear, everything that I've got here. I've got listed on there, and I have like another. I use Kit. Have you ever heard of Kit.co?
Oh. Yeah, I think Full-Time Filmmaker is all about that stuff. Yeah,
really? Okay. It's probably where I heard about it from, because like a lot of times people want to hire me and they're like, what's your gear? And I hate having to type it out every single time. Oh, really? So I just threw everything into Kit, and I always update it every time I get something new or I sell something. I'm always updating it.
Yeah, interesting. People ask you that? Like people ask you like what gear you're rocking?
Yeah, so
I guess that's true. People do that.
Well, not necessarily like clients, but like other companies. Like, so someone's looking to hire me out, like a production company, and they're like, what's your gear? What's your,
yeah, that makes
and so I'm like,
sense.
hey, this is what I've got. This is what I'm capable of doing. And I just send them that Kit.co link, and they're able to see everything I got.
Oh, sick.
So
okay.
powerful,
Yeah.
That's so nice for clients to just like take a quick look through the catalog without you having to type it all out.
Exactly. Yeah, I see too many times on Facebook, like people are posting, like, we're looking for a videographer for this, and people are just like, I've got this, this, and this. I'm like, I'm sure you've got a lot more.
You're right. Listing. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So, I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's been really nice having you.
Yeah, likewise.
We really appreciate you coming out here. So do you have anything you want to say to anybody watching, like where they can find you on Instagram or anything you want to plug? So you can find me on Instagram at Hasskan, HASSKHAN_. I'm going to be giving out some free trainings throughout 2024. And if you're looking to grow your social media account, grow your business, and grow your personal brand, give me a follow. Yeah, we appreciate you having you. Appreciate having you out. I think that was a lot of good information that a lot of filmmakers I know we needed to know. I think people don't take marketing and the analytics and all these things in serious, for one, but two, I think people don't know where to look. Right. So I think being a resource that people can
go to find out these questions and this information. I think will be really big.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think one like tip I want to add is like I kind of learned this in the past year. It doesn't really. I think I've kind of like spoken on it. Like the product is like one thing. Like your product as like a videographer and like what you deliver is like one thing. But your marketing and your sales like process is a whole nother thing that you gotta master. You gotta master. If you want to like do this full time and you want to like own like a production company or an agency, gotta learn marketing and sales.
Yeah, we see people all the time that I may look at and be like, well, I shoot better than that guy,
right?
But that guy's getting paid.
Yeah,
and so it's like sometimes like this balance of like your talent and what you know versus like the ability to tell a client it's $2,500 a month confidently and believe it.
Right.
So I think that's really interesting that it's like, it's a best of both worlds.
Yeah. So somebody put it into perspective for me. Somebody was like, who's gonna probably like land the deal better? Like the best product or the best known person?
That's good.
Probably the best known person.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
Yeah. So
it's like a reputation.
Yeah, 100%.
Bunch of gems in this episode for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Again, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right. So if you guys want to see some more episodes like this, make sure you guys subscribe, like this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.